Welcome, Cancer, to your 777 reading. I just want to say happy birthday to begin with. I'm already getting started pulling out 3 cards from the archetype deck. This is so I can get an understanding of the energy or the foundation of your energy. Then we're going to pull 4 cards from a tarot deck to look at the energy that's in and around you. And then another 2 cards from another tarot deck to look at the energy coming towards you. And then we're going to finish up with 3 cards from the Shaman Oracle deck. So just keep in mind that this is a general reading. It doesn't take into consideration your personal circumstances. So you just take what resonates with you and you leave the rest behind. Well, I hope you're having a good season so far. Looking at the 3 cards, what we've got so far, we have the Dead End, the Venom, and the Poet. Okay, so let's start with the Dead End. So there's a situation where you've come as far as you could in this situation. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going any further. It just means you've done what you can in this situation. And perhaps there's something toxic in regards to this situation, or maybe you're feeling this situation is toxic. Now, the venom can be anywhere between a toxic relationship. It can be perhaps even substance abuse, something that's basically feeling like it's poison in your life. It could be a way of thinking, so just keep that in mind. Don't automatically assume that it's going to be something external. It could be something internal. But we have the Poet. So in regards to the Poet, this is the archetype where someone is not afraid of the darkness, understands the lightness and the darkness. If you can see here in the card, this Poet is holding light in the dark, and the Poet is able to be creative in this type of environment. So even though that the Poet has gone through some darkness, they've used their creativity to, I guess, channel that energy into something that's positive, into something that can be related in this world. So perhaps with this Venom and the Dead End, you've learned to, I was going to say manifest, but it's more like transmute this pain into something that's poetic. So that's quite nice to start with, but let's look at the energy that's in and around you. Okay, just getting that card. So we've got 2 cards for you so far, and now we've got 4. Nice, and we've got 3 major arcanas. So the first card I came up with was the 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords does represent heartbreak, but it's also, Swords represents the mind, so this is also the overwhelming thoughts of that heartbreak, of what the heartbreak creates. It's got the 3 swords going through the heart there, and these swords I refer to them as the shoulda, coulda, woulda, when you're going through heartbreak, or and this doesn't have to be necessarily in a relationship. This could be, whether it's a job loss or not getting the job that you wanted. So it can be career-based, it can be family, it can be friends. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship. You could already be in a relationship. That doesn't mean that you're going to be heartbroken. It's just assessing the heartbreak that you're going through in your personal circumstances. So Cancer, when we do have something that has disappointed us, we tend to play the shoulda, coulda, woulda swords, and sort of dig deep, push those swords deeper into our heart. I guess the good thing out of this is that, you have found love, and maybe it's about transmuting or transferring that love into something that will bring you reciprocity, will bring you success, or will bring you something that's a little bit more fulfilling. We do have the temperance, and I like the temperance here because it sort of represents the poet in one sense. So the temperance does represent patience, but it also represents transmuting. In the traditional arcana tarot cards, the temperance is sort of pouring from one cup into another. It's kind of representing turning water into wine. So patience is required in this situation. But we've got the world and we've got the star card as well. So the world represents closing off a cycle. It could also represent traveling. So you could have some travel plans ahead. But the world card ultimately represents clearing off a cycle, completing the cycle, and success in doing so. And the star card is about restoring hope, but also a wish fulfillment. All right, so let's look at the energy coming towards you now, Cancer. Okay, I've got 2 cards for you. Just drop one, so let me just get that. All right. So we have the Page of Pentacles, known as the Princess of Pentacles in this deck, and we've got the Queen of Wands. So really good energy coming towards you. So the Page of Pentacles is starting a new venture, something that's going to be bringing you material success, but it's the beginning stage. So it's cultivating your resources and understanding what resources you have and starting to utilize them to work towards a dream. It could be towards a relationship, depending on your circumstances. But we also have the Queen of Wands, which is a really good energy, and I like seeing the Queen of Wands in your reading. The Queen of Wands, so the Queen of Wands is a fire sign, and what I want to sort of bring out to you, I'm going to use pop culture because pop culture is easy to understand when I'm talking to a collective. So when we talk about the Queen of Wands, it's usually like the fire sign, and that's usually those who are not afraid to step into the limelight, taking center stage, basically, Cancer. So what I want to tell you here is, okay, when we talk about fire signs, and let's look at pop culture for an example. So who are the pop culture kind of stars that have maintained longevity? So we have, we've got Lady Gaga, we've got Madonna, we've got a J-Lo, we've got Nicki Minaj, we've got Taylor Swift. Who else is a big one that is a fire sign that has maintained longevity? Britney Spears. They're all fire signs. So we got Lady Gaga being an Aries. We've got Madonna and J-Lo being Leos. We've got Nicki Minaj, Taylor Swift, Britney Spears being Sagittarius. They're not afraid about any mistakes that they made. They take that chance. They take that leap of faith. They take center stage. So don't be afraid to let yourself shine and not be afraid of the mistakes you made because you're still in that learning phase. You know what I mean? So pretty good reading so far. Let's now get some guidance for you, and then we'll have a look at the cards all together and summarize the reading for you. So we've got one, we've got two, just get that. Now one more. And we've got three, perfect. So, what we have here for you, Cancer, is we've got the galactic mushroom, the divine matrix. I'll explain to you what these cards mean. We've got mindful, groupthink, and then we've got caterpillar, opportunity. And in these cards, we've got 4, 40, and 24. So we've got 444. So you might see 444. You can even look up what that angel number means, but let's get into it. I'm going to show you the cards on the side here, and we'll just go over that foundation of the energy that's in and around you, the energy that's coming towards you, and then I'll explain to you the guidance from the shaman deck. So pay attention to anything that you feel that is being toxic in your life, whether this is relationships, whether this is substance. Sorry, my computer slept there. Just went to sleep there. I just want to make sure it's still recording. Because I feel like it's creating a dead end. A dead end where the universe is saying, stop in this situation. You've done all you can. It's probably no longer serving you. Transmute it. Transmute that pain. Cancer, you are basically the poet. You have gone through a lot in your life. You've learnt a lot in your life, definitely. You're always a very giving person, and sometimes you wonder why you don't get that back. It's time to give to yourself. Most of my friends are cancers. That's why I'm a little bit late with these readings, because I've been out celebrating. So to put a weekend aside to do these readings, I had to say no to some of my cancer friends, which, by the way, I've already celebrated during the week and the weekends before. You guys like to continue on your celebrations for a whole week, if not for the whole month. So, and I always appreciate that. I always have a good time. But getting back to your reading here, something that might be feeling that you've missed out on. You're playing in your mind with the shoulda, coulda, woulda. Perhaps just learning to be a little bit more patient and transmute that pain. You know, if you have put all your love into something and you haven't gotten that back, transfer it. Start putting it back into yourself. Start, taking care of what you eat. Start exercising. Start putting that love into yourself. Okay, and along that, you'll be closing off a cycle, and there's a successful completion happening for you. And then we also have the star card. Look at that glowing in that light there. A wish come true, or even just restoring hope. Sometimes that's enough. What I really like here is we've got the Princess, or also known as the Page of Pentacles. So working towards something that is going to bring you material wealth and taking center stage in regards to whatever you're transmuting here. It's time you shine, Cancer. But don't think that you're just doing this all on your own. You've got the galactic mushroom, the divine matrix. So this, if you've ever watched on, I think it's Netflix, what's it called? Fungi. I can't think of it right now, but it talks about how mushrooms gather resources and nutrients from one tree that is thriving and bring it into, one that seems to be suffering. So this sort of talks about the universe coming in and giving you and assisting you with the resources and the energy that you need in order to get through this time. Okay, and mindful, this is about groupthink. And groupthink is about, us as a society being bombarded daily from, your phone, looking at Instagram or looking at Facebook or just the news and everything. Just be mindful that groupthink doesn't overwhelm you. Sometimes it's good to step out of that and just focus on what's happening in your own life, and rather than letting your emotions be affected about what's happening in the world. I know it's good to be aware of what's happening in the world, but not to the point where it's a detriment to yourself and your energy progressing and evolving in this life, okay? It's always good to have your views and opinions, but to then allow it to affect your emotions, just be mindful of that. And then we have the caterpillar opportunity. So this is a really good one. This is, cats are very independent creatures. They love themselves before they will love anyone else. And this is about how you will transform. So a really good reading there, Cancer. I really hope you were enjoying your season. That's it in terms of the reading. Much love and take care. Bye.